Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to Season 1, Episode 12 of the Open Door Podcast. I'm Chelsea.
I'm Bedford.
And we're here again for 12 weeks.
12
3
weeks.
months. That's pretty... 4 months. That's pretty great, guys.
No,
3
it's
months.
It's
okay.
3.
You looked at me like I was crazy.
I did. Mainly because I was shocked that this was the first time in a while that you've gotten the week right.
It is. I just feel like it's going faster than I really am anticipating that it's going. I feel like I'm always a week behind, but...
Now, granted, I get to look at the file every single day, and so I know which week it is, because I'm like, I spend a lot of time.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, the podcast is Bedford's
That's my baby.
6th child. He's the one that sets up for it. He takes down, he edits and gets it all posted, and so it is his baby.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, and it's actually just as fruitful as my other kids right now, honestly. But
kind of.
Yeah, it's our project, and it's a lot of fun to do. And so anyway, we again have another child at home. That's 3 weeks in a row.
Guys, can we just talk about, though, how, again, it's kind of like when you were like, oh, I'm so excited for the kids to go back to school. And I was like, I mean, yeah, kind of. But it's because of stuff like this. Like, it's like we have had a kid home. And we have, like, Riker will be home tomorrow because it's his birthday.
What?
It's the only day that I allow him to electively stay home from school. Because all the other kids, except for Sloan, have summer birthdays. So for their birthday, they just get to stay home and kick it. And Riker hates that, especially because he hates school more than anything on the whole earth. But this is just kind of how it is it's like, all right, the kids are gone. All right, I'm going back to school to pick up so-and-so, which granted, Mimi had a tooth infection. Yeah, she had a gum infection.
A big old cavity. So big that I looked in there and was like, oh, that's a cavity.
Not even like, I looked in there and was like, her tooth is cracking in half.
Yeah.
Like, it was so bad. So she just barely got it fixed, and she has a crown on, but she called because it was still hurting. And so, unlike last week, where if you could hear Peppa in the background, if you can hear Bluey in the background, we have another child at home. But let's rock and roll anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, over under on Maya being home next Wednesday when we're recording. I'm going to go ahead and or Tuesday, whenever it is. I'm going to guess it's going to be Maya because they just be taking shifts now. It's
actually
ridiculous.
They'll all be here.
What? Why?
Thanksgiving break.
Blast.
Unless we do it Tuesday. They have school Monday, Tuesday next week because of Thanksgiving break.
Yeah, we're doing it Tuesday. Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Random things I found in the news. The unnecessarily long named segment. Nailed it. Ooh. Ooh, I'm proud of myself. Anyway.
You did it.
This one's a good one.
Oh, okay, great.
Okay, so this lady just posted on her Instagram. She's like, hey, my boyfriend inherited this kind of funky $5 bill from his grandma.
Okay.
Right? So grandma says, hi, Sonny, here's a $5 bill.
Oh, gosh.
Right? Because she's passed on.
Okay.
Internet blows up. They're like, yo, it's one of them $5 bills.
This is like a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory situation.
Yeah, it really is.
All right.
Guess how much the $5 bill is worth, because it's got a typo on it.
$3 million.
No. But it is worth $400,000.
Okay.
Bro, grandma probably didn't even know that she was sitting on a $400,000.
Was grandma still alive?
No, she died. She probably died in a small itty bitty house.
Yeah.
With, like, I've got to get the fridge fixed, but it seems to be refrigerating well enough. And then
is a creepy voice.
No, that's grandma's house. Every grandma sounds kind of like that a little bit. And then she just gives her grandson. Imagine being the other grandson that just got like a regular $5 bill.
It makes me think. So when I was growing up, my dad's grandparents, so my great grandparents. Mm-hmm. They, every Christmas, and we did this last year, I don't know if you remember, but so my dad is a coin collector. Oh, yeah. And he, like, if he sees a coin on the street, he's stopping and picking it up. And if he goes somewhere and pays with cash and they give him change, he saves the change and he just puts it in a jar. And his grandparents used to do the same thing, and his parents and his grandparents. And so every year for Christmas, you get to go over and reach your hand into this giant thing of change, and as much as you can get out with one handful is yours, right?
Yeah.
And it's fun because my grandpa did that last Christmas party for like all of the great grandkids at our family party. But I just think about that and I think like, what are the odds, that like one of us pulls a coin that's worth like $100,000 and the rest of the grandkids,
I'm going to be like doing a thorough investigation on all the coins that come, every single one of them. So
I just think it's so funny to think about it like that because it's like one of the grandkids got, something.
They probably all got $5, every last one of them.
Right. It's like and then for their birthday.
For some reason, grandma thought this, and it could be like, because old people, they be trifling like that. I don't even like Timmy. I'm gonna give him this misprint of a $5 bill.
Well, the funny thing too is how many banks that went through and nobody knew either, right? Like, well, because we both worked in the banking industry, and so it's like,
I kept an eye out when I was behind the thing. I was like, yo, that's weird. Let me take a gander real quick. And
but for one missing, didn't you say it's just like a missing letter or something? No,
it's so when you look at it, I'll post an image of it, but like you could see that it's misprinted, and so it looks like another $5 was printed on the corner of it.
Oh.
And so, but it lines up just right so that the 5 is still accurate.
I can tell you right now that I would have just sent that to our discard.
And then
I would have thought it was a fraud bill. No, and I would have sent it.
Oh, no, you wouldn't have, because money touches. Here's the thing. Me and Chelsea both worked at banks, okay? I worked at Key Bank. She worked at America First. And if you don't know, if you haven't handled a lot of money, one thing that you learn in that process is that like
you more often than not, flying through money, and all of a sudden you're like, that felt weird. Go back.
Yeah,
like
you can feel it. Like money feels a certain way. It's got a certain weight to it.
Yeah,
it's got a certain texture to it. And so when you're actually looking at frauds, you don't actually look at the fraud first. You feel it first. A lot of times you're like, ew.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Is if I didn't feel the difference, I don't know.
I had to see and count. I was always a see and count. Like I never actually was looking away when I was counting, so I would have seen it.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man, $400,000. Thank you, Grandma.
Also, at one point, I was the fastest money counter this side of the Mississippi.
Did you straighten the money while you were counting it?
Of course I did.
Because that drove me crazy when people are super fast, but then they were just leaving bills upside down and backwards. That would take me off.
I would fight somebody off of that. How am I supposed to be able to see all the differences?
100%.
This one friend of mine, Abby.
Okay.
She's super fast. She kicked my butt every single time. When I started working at the bank, she was a seasoned vet. All right.
You just swooped in.
Got my butt kicked for like 2 years. And then one day she was having an off day. Boom. Smoked her. Never raced her again. That's right, Abby.
Took advantage of that.
Number situation. 1 top selector. You want to go again? You better fly in from Florida. Got that heat.
Okay, well, when I was working at the bank, there was a strip club in the area.
Ew.
And there was 2 of them. I worked in downtown Salt Lake City, and there were 2 strip clubs that would number one, they would order like $5,000 in ones a week. But then they would also come in and deposit all of their ones.
Gross.
Yep. And so you would fight the urge to put on gloves as you just counted these.
Because you need to have your hands free so you could feel it.
Correct.
Ew.
Correct.
Oh, man. Yep. That would be heated battles of rock, paper, scissors, and whoever loses has to do it.
No one wanted to take their stuff. People would see them come in and they'd be like, no. Like windows are shutting down. Like, and I'm like, no, y'all stay open. Because at the time I was the manager. So I was like, nope. Everybody do not close. Like
people leaving for break.
Yeah. They're like, I'm super bladder's very full all of a sudden. Like I got to get out of here. Yep. And like I often just opted to put it through the counter, right? Like the money counter.
Yeah.
But still, it was like, because really, who's going to create a fraudulent one, right? So it's like, but still, like, man, every time they come in, I was like, dang it.
That's sweaty money.
Yeah.
I bet you who even musty.
Who even knows? Yes, sometimes it was like damp money.
Ew.
I'm not joking. It was a rough experience. I didn't like it at all.
I could see that being unpleasant.
It was.
Okay, other thing.
Okay.
Okay. This one's funny to me. I don't get it. But three guys in California.
Okay.
Okay. File an insurance claim because a bear had somehow damaged 3 of their cars, 2 Mercedes and 1 Rolls Royce.
Where do they have their car?
They have parked outside in California.
Okay.
Okay. Now, they actually get this footage of the bear damaging their car. And upon further look-see, they realized, the insurance companies, because they were like, that ain't no bear. It was a man in a bear costume.
No way. No way. You are lying.
So they defrauded their insurance company by going in and scratching up their, like...
At that point, why would you even wear a costume? Like, why would you... Because clearly it's not a bear. So, like, why are you even...
Because now you look like an idiot.
Yes. Like, you might as well have just done it.
And then been like, a human being vandalized our cars.
Yeah. What in the world? I have heard of a lot of ridiculous things to make money off of people's insurance. For example, a couple of years ago, it was like 14 plus years ago, I was pulling out of the bank. I had gotten off of work, and while I was backing up, this other car was coming through, and I was like, you go. And they were like, no, you go. And I said, you go. So she rolls down her window and she's like, you can go. And I'm like, okay, I go. As soon as I start to back out, she goes behind me. So I call my insurance, and they're like, she does this every single year before Christmas.
That's her Christmas hustle?
Literally every single year. So and I had like never experienced anything like that before. So their fraud investigator came out from their insurance company and was like asking me all these questions and had me meet him at the place where it happened. He interviewed my manager. Like all of this crazy stuff. Yes. And so they watched the tape, and that's exactly what happened. Is she like waved for me to go and then waited and like gunned it behind me. So I know that people do crazy things to like get payouts from their insurance companies, but like what in the stupid idea?
That was a dumb idea, but they executed it, and then they almost got away with it until people were like, the video is what killed them.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly, you don't put a video in. I guess you got to have some bear like hair and stuff. I don't know.
Also, why did you do it somewhere where it could be recorded?
I don't know. But, obviously,
if you're going to defraud them, you got to be like, we were out deep in the woods. There was not a single camera out there.
The vehicles weren't necessarily deep in the woods vehicles.
I don't care.
Like your Rolls Royce Ghost, which I'm like, why do you even have that? It was like $150,000 worth of cars.
I don't care what it is. It's more plausible that you would take your $150,000. Like, I would say that is a better story than I was in a bear costume on my car with a key, just scratching the crap out of it.
Well, and I think the funnier part of it is like the bear somehow got into the $100,000 car and then scratched the seats. Didn't even like, I don't get it. And so
there are a million better stories.
Yeah.
Probably
tried really hard. You know what was involved in this story and the creation of the story is they were probably a little high. Little on the ganja.
I can't.
Okay. And that made it think like that was a good idea, but it wasn't.
No.
Moving on to accountability time. 3 weeks. Guess what, Chelsea? You have something to say to me.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
He's been doing good, y'all. He's been doing good.
Yeah, I'm not putting myself through misery. I actually gagged the last time I saw a pizza, so I actually think this is going to go a long ways.
I mean, you were really sick.
I was super sick.
Speaking of that story, today, for our segment, I got lost in a Reddit thread of people's most embarrassing stories.
Ooh.
It's a good time. There are so many of them that there are going to be a ton of them that are like blind read. I have not read any of them. But I am going to read this one that story just reminded me of.
I love it.
So, first I have to find it because I wasn't planning on reading it because I was like, oh, it's fine. We'll get to it. All right, here it is. Here it is. I was at an NFL game and something I had ate earlier had just wrecked my stomach and left me with horrible gas. Like the kind which clears a room. It's so bad. And I mean, you paid for NFL tickets.
Yeah. Like $700 sometimes.
Yeah, like you're staying.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going anywhere just because you have bad gas. I was walking up the stairs to my seat mid-game and really had to let one rip. Right then, the crowd cheered, and I thought the moment was right. What I didn't realize is that my butt was at the same level as a woman sitting in her seat on the aisle, and I literally farted right in her ear. I can't. I just have to. First of all, that would be my worst nightmare if that happened to me. I don't know what I would do.
I now know why I should never sit on the aisle at a stadium, actually. But then you got people like scooching past you too, and that could happen.
I looked back at her as she looked at me with shock and disgust. I quickly turned away and climbed the stairs as fast as I could and blended into the crowd. I still think about her from time to time and how horrible that must have truly been for her.
Oh, honestly, she probably still thinks about you.
She probably tells that story. Like, there was this one time that I paid $700.
This man just farted right in my face
at an NFL game.
Wow.
Honestly, that is a nightmare, embarrassing moment for me. Like, I think for you would probably just be like, well, that sucks.
You know what?
See ya.
We both paid and you lost.
Yeah.
Like, actually, we both lost.
No,
honestly.
I don't even know what I would do.
Chelsea
I would
doesn't
probably
fart.
cry. Obviously everybody does, but I'm going to be so honest with you. Bedford is not allowed in the bathroom with me. If I'm in the bathroom, he is not in there.
Yeah. Only time she ever farts around me is when she's pregnant and asleep at the same
And I don't
time.
have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
watch out.
Stop that. But like okay, I will talk to you about literally anything. I am an open book. I will talk to you about anything. Bathroom stuff? No, thank you.
Look, I'm no scientist, but I'm pretty sure farting is a good sign of gut health.
I'm sure that it is too. But I would be like, I would be mortified. All right. I speed read that one, and I'm just thinking that I'm not going to read that because that is not appropriate. Okay, here's the next one. When I was 16, I went to a water park with slides and pools all with my uncle and 2 younger cousins. I wore a regular bikini and went swimming in some pools with my cousins for about 40 minutes. We then went to this big slide, and after that, we got in line to do an even bigger one with my uncle. As I'm standing in line, I hear some teenagers laughing behind me. I turn around to see one of them pointing at me and quickly stop as they saw me staring back. Go ahead and guess. Do you want to guess?
Oh, no. She been waiting in line. She ain't even got no top on.
That'd be horrible. That would be horrible. No, though. I then looked down and I had bits of wet white toilet paper all down my legs. As a teenager, I used to always fold toilet paper and put it in my underwear to prevent anything from getting on my underwear. I must have just automatically done it while I was wearing a bathing suit.
Ew.
So she said that she kept trying to like brush it off, but it was wet toilet paper. So it was like very stuck to her. And then it was like stuck to her hands.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. And then she's about to get on this slide because, yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Especially as a 16-year-old girl, like that just absolutely sucks.
She probably never rode a slide again.
Well, so I went on one of the slides at our local water park. 10 years ago, and it was one of those that like the body ones where you cross your arms or whatever and you go down the slide. When I got off the slide, my top had come up over my head. I had to like hurry and try. I mean, I'm like young 20s, like early 20s. I was humiliated. It was so embarrassing. Water parks are
you probably made some 13-year-old boy's day.
Wow,
right, so
that is
congratulations.
not appropriate.
There's 2 ways to think about it. Glass half full is you did some charity work, okay?
Stop.
Glass empty, you were humiliated.
So humiliated.
Yeah. Win some, you lose some.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. I was on an airplane years ago with my girlfriend and her parents. My girlfriend couldn't get a seat next to me, so she sat directly behind me. During the flight, I thought I would surprise her and reach my hand back onto her knee.
Idiot.
Slowly, I kept extending it up her thigh until I heard giggling in Bedford's face. I looked behind through the seats and saw that my hand was on the leg of the guy next to her.
Clown.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
No, what are you doing?
I'm punching the guy.
No, that you do that to someone.
I would never.
Okay, but you did.
No.
Let's just say you did, and then you look back and you realize it's actually a dude. What's your next step?
I mean, I'd be like, hi. And then I would pull my arm back, and then I would just go to the bathroom until the plane was about to land.
They're like, sir, you have to come out.
No. I do not. You can't make me.
And my favorite thing is that the girl just let him do it too. Like she was just like,
what's
yeah.
wrong with her? And the guy too. The guy was
they
like,
were both just like, okay.
what are you doing, clown?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's rough. That's embarrassing.
That is embarrassing. I just don't.
I would never. There's no world where I'm blind reaching into there's too small of quarters.
Have you ever seen those people that like, you know, they'll play the trick where they like go up behind the wrong person or whatever, you know, and they put their arms around them. The other person's just like holding on to them, or they're holding hands, and they're just. But we did that to you once, right? My sister did that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I think my sister just walked up and started holding your hand, and you had no idea for a second. But I don't think it went on for very long because you noticed pretty fast. So
yeah, I know your hands.
You do.
I know your body.
You do.
Body's like a wonderland.
Wow, that was good.
Body's like a wonderland. Oh.
All right,
nailed it. Moving on.
Man, this one sucks. Okay. Oh man, I get really bad secondhand embarrassment for other people.
Oh, that's probably not even that bad. Watch.
I mean, it sucks. It's not for an adult, so you kind of have to think of this like from they're a sophomore in high school, but like you think about this from the perspective of a sophomore. Okay, so my sophomore year of high school, I had a crush on a girl that I had a class with. We'd talked a few times, but I didn't know her that well. It was around Valentine's Day, and our school did this thing where you could pay $10 and student volunteers would go and sing a song you picked in class.
Boy took a risk.
Whoever you picked, and give them a card.
Boy took a risk.
Would you ever do that?
Nope. Never
Would you ever?
I did
it. $10 too. Like that's steep.
Yeah, especially when we were in high school. That was like 60 miles worth of gas. That was like a half tank of gas.
Yeah, but like it's $10 for people to go sing a song to someone.
I would totally do that too. Actually, that's not
true. Because it's like
true.
a candy gram is like $1 or $2
I would do it to my high school girlfriend, but she would be pissed. And I would do it to my buddies.
Okay,
and they would also be pissed. I would do it to it would not be a good thing.
Yeah, well, instead of approaching her like a normal person for a date, I decided to go with the singing Valentine. I plunked down my $10, signed up, and started getting extremely nervous about the next day.
Yeah, because you messed up immediately.
Like, you're not doing it to someone you even have ever spoke to. You are literally asking a girl out on a date with a singing handygram.
Okay, let's get to the end of this because this is bad.
That afternoon, I told my friend what I had done. He started laughing. Finally, he told me that the girl had a boyfriend. He was a senior and I was an idiot.
He paid $10 for a fight. I love it.
The next morning, I explained the situation to a friend of mine that was involved in the program, and after he finished laughing, he told me it was too late, the singing assignments were out, and it was already going to happen. My only hope was that since singers and time are limited, that they wouldn't get to mine, which is a thing that would sometimes happen, and you got your $10 back and not humiliated. Our class together rolls around.
Oh, this is great.
Which is, of course, the one that I had sent it to. So
like
not only did he do this candygram, but he did it to the class that they had together.
I mean, the commitment's there, and it's real. I appreciate it.
Nope. Mm-mm. The door opened, and instead of the one person with a boombox there were three. One was the guy I had begged to cancel it, who gave me the biggest smile as they set it up. That's so horrible.
Oh yeah, he doubled down. He's like, guys, we gotta get this one.
This one's gotta fit. This guy's not getting a refund no matter what.
Where's your camera?
If this is the only one we get done, this is the one. That guy is not your friend.
Yeah, yes he is.
Okay. Now, song options had been limited. This was before streaming existed, so it was just what they happened to have CDs of. I didn't know most of the songs, and I didn't want to go sappy, so I went with the one higher tempo song I knew, Wild Thing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Wild
Dun, dun.
Thing.
You make my heart sing. Oh, no.
Oh, gosh. So they announced who the Valentine was for, and she blushed. I'm sure assuming it was from her boyfriend. They started singing, and she blushed harder. They handed her the card that I had written my name in, and her face stopped being pink and went far more red. She looked over at me, and all I could do was shrug. After they left, out loud, she said, I have a boyfriend, and then everybody knew that it was from me. I just muttered that I had found out too late, and happy Valentine's Day, and I'm sorry.
I just... the boy could have left class. He's too good a kid. I would never get in that situation to begin with, but if I was in that pickle, guess what? I'm leaving the school. I'm going to go get me Ernie's. Okay, I'm spending another $5 on a great breakfast sandwich, one time for Ernie's. And, that would happen, and people would just talk about it behind my back.
Oh, my gosh.
But he stood there and he took it right in the face.
Yeah, that sucked. I haven't read this one, so we're going to go through this together. But one of these says there is no recovery from this, part of it. So a lot of these are from high school, you guys. Why did we do such embarrassing things in high school?
It's because honestly, who I could honestly, Jax is totally going to do one of these things. Especially the singing gram.
Yeah.
And not have all the information. In fact, we might need to warn him against it. That's what we're having family home meeting about. We're going to be like, hey, don't do stupid things, including this.
Well, Bedford was telling me one time that he had a friend in high school, and we're just going to say it. Hello. No,
don't do that.
That would give girls his email address. And Bedford was always like, why are you giving him your email?
I'm editing the name out. Okay. Because my man, he's a stalwart individual, and he knows who he is, and my homies know who he is too. But yeah, boy, you go to these college dances, like, hey, what's up, girls? And then girls are like, you know how it is,
Like, hi.
They're kind of like, hi, oh, you're approaching me, and he would go in heavy. It's like, what if I gave you my email? And all of a sudden, his success rate of transferring emails went from 4% from getting a phone number to 100% of giving an email. And I was like, dude, I don't think you understand why that's not working.
He's my favorite.
You're getting a reward at the beginning.
He's my favorite.
But yeah, he's
the best.
I chuckled. I was like, emails, that ain't it.
Can I
but we
get
were all
your
stupid.
email?
We all did so many dumb things in this pursuit of, finding ourselves a lady friend.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Here's the thing. In high school, I didn't really interact with a ton of people. I was pretty I hated school. I just went to class, went home. So I didn't really have a ton of embarrassing moments in high school. But I'm reading all these very bold people having all these embarrassing experiences. And I think it's hard for you, though, because you don't really get embarrassed.
I don't really get embarrassed, but also I didn't take a ton of risks in high school. Growing up in Utah, it was very, I was exceptionally well known. And you know this.
Yes.
I was the black kid.
We still live in the same area, and I go places, and they're like, oh my gosh, aren't you Bedford's wife? And I'm like,
right. And
yep.
so, I was always, by default, the center of attention.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. And so, I didn't need to take a ton of big risks, and I didn't really ever have to.
What he's saying is he was the hot guy.
I wasn't the hot guy.
Bedford weighed 100 pounds, absolutely soaking wet.
I wasn't the hot guy. I
Still
definitely peaked
so
much
handsome.
later than high school. But, and then I had a girlfriend for the majority of it. So,
yeah.
I just would never find myself in that situation.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, I was embarrassed in all kinds of other ways, I think, but not romantically.
Well, this next one is romantic.
One time in college where I was embarrassed.
Wow.
Okay, here we go. So I've got this BMW.
Okay.
I love this thing. And then anytime I see an old BMW, I'm like, Chelsea, I had this. So it was a 1987 535 IS. It was my first car. I loved it with all my soul. It was beautiful. And I'm getting another one eventually. Now the thing is old.
Okay.
And no, this wasn't that BMW. It was the next BMW. I've had a lot of black BMWs.
A lot.
So I am in college. I've got this BMW. I spent like $3,000 on it. It was a 325 IS. And I meet this girl at this outdoor party. I'm like, yo, she fine as wine. She was super cute, right? So I go get the
Not
bravery.
anymore though, right? Like you think about it and you're like, she wasn't even cute, right?
No,
like,
she was cute.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
I mean, it is what it is.
Have you seen that meme?
Yeah.
Of the lady that's like, my husband wasn't the most, or like, I wasn't his first love or whatever. And then she's like, never mind. I'm actually just mad now.
Yeah.
Like talking about it.
No, you don't get to play that game because like you were
I
married
get it.
and you
Okay,
have
fine.
kids. So anyway.
I guess you can continue.
Right? Super hot chick, right?
Just driving it home. Go ahead.
I ask her out. Like, hey, you want to go on a date on Friday? She says yes. I go back to my buddies. Yeah, boy. You know, dap. I can't believe it. You know, I remember Jared like, okay, my man, you shot and you won. I was like, I sure did. But my car is clapped out. Okay, it's not in great condition.
Wow. Okay.
And so the day of the date comes around, and for some reason this hadn't happened before. But the day of the date comes around. And for some reason, I open up this door on her side, right?
For her.
No, this is before.
Okay.
I'm cleaning, actually.
Okay.
I open up the door, and I'm like, oh, I didn't close it all the way. I close it. Boom. The door card comes off. Okay, so that means the whole interior panel, that interior of where that whole thing just came off in my hand. I'm cleaning the car for the date, holding the door panel for her door.
Perfect.
And immediately I'm like, I'm canceling because I don't know how to fix this. So I call, I'm like, but she's still really cute. But I'm like, yo, there's no door. Like
You're like, ma'am, do you want to ride it? Just put your
the
seatbelt
door
on.
is literally in. So I'm like,
It's like a mailman.
It was bad. So I decided to go on the date anyway. I'm like, if I cancel, we ain't never going to go out anyway, right? I took a risk. All I got to do is cancel.
So you took her in a mailman style vehicle.
Yeah, it didn't go well.
Her door is just off.
Yeah.
And she's got her seatbelt on. And
she got her seatbelt. Like, no, the door was on. But the inside that holds, like, you can now see the mechanism that rolls the window up and not. And the door handle is not there. And it, like, it was janky. And I apologized. And then I never even texted her again. I said,
that would embarrass you.
It did embarrass me.
Because when we were dating, Bedford had an old, or a Cadillac. And every single time he picked me up, he cleaned it before and after. And he's like that even now with his car. Like,
from her.
He's like, that is never happening to me again. Because that would not embarrass me. I'd be like, man, you know cars. Sorry. That sucks.
Well,
but that would embarrass you.
In my head, I was like, she probably came for money. And now she's like, yo, I'm going to tell all my friends about this dude that ain't got no door card. So I don't even remember her name, but props to you if you remember being at BYU on a date with the one black guy you went on a date with. And it was ghetto one time. I'm married. Stay away from me.
He says you're hot, so stay away.
It's probably not anymore.
Whatever.
It's been 10 years.
So, all right, here we go. In high school, the homecoming dance was coming up. I happened to confide that I had a crush on a popular girl to another girl in my math class.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me, they were very good friends, and this girl offered to put in a good word for me. She's not going to put in a good word for him. The next day, she told me that my crush would totally say yes if I asked her. So in between periods, I found my crush in the hallway, asked her to homecoming, and she said yes. Booyah.
Okay.
Winning. Oh, no. I just know. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen, but just being in high school. Yeah, being in high school. Did you ever have it happen or hear about it where someone would get asked to a dance and they would say yes, and then someone better would ask them later?
Nah, at Orem High, we had dignity and we stuck to our words.
I don't think that.
Yeah, we held it down.
No. So there were multiple times when I was in high school that somebody would get asked and then some more popular person or someone that they'd rather go with would come in later. and then they would be like,
If
sorry,
you said
I'm going to
yes,
go with this
you're
other
going.
person. No.
That's how it was.
That's what I think is coming. I could be wrong. That's just my guess. Okay. Homecoming is on Saturday and today is Thursday.
Okay.
My crush, her friend and I go to lunch together and I offer to pay in hopes that it will make her like me even more.
Idiot.
She tells me she wants 2 bags of chips, a burger and fries, and a small carton of chocolate milk. No problem. I go to the cafeteria. I get those items like a boss. For some reason, I decided to jog over to her, even though that really only shaves off like 10 seconds from my trip.
He's like a delivery boy at this point. Garçon.
And I love that he's telling this story from the perspective of a grown man. Like kind of reliving it and being like, I literally only was going to shave off like 10 seconds. I have 2 bags of chips in my mouth, one hand with a burger and fries and the other hand with a carton of chocolate milk. The girls are sitting in the common area. The common area is carpeted, adjacent to the cafeteria, which has a tile floor. These rooms are separated by a relatively small metal line in the floor.
I hate all of this detail. I'm so stressed right now.
No problem. I have another foot. I'll just... As I meet the line, my left foot catches on the metal. No problem. I have another foot. I'll just swing that foot forward really quick and save this. Nope. The other foot also catches. As I fall straight forward, I instinctively try to catch myself with my hands.
He's holding all that stuff.
Well, one hand has chocolate milk in it, which promptly bursts, sending chocolate milk in every direction. My other hand didn't help me either. It slips on the burger in the bag and the fries go all over the place. The last thing to break my fall is my own face.
With the chips in his mouth.
The face with 2 bags of Lay's potato chips in my mouth. You know the jokes about Lay's being full of air.
Not enough.
They're true.
Huh? Oh,
as my face collided with the ground, both bags of chips exploded at the same time and it sounded like a gunshot. Somehow, one of my shoes flew off.
He's got to change schools. He's done. He's done.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I tried to melt into the floor and fade out of existence for a moment. Then I peeled my chocolate milk and chip-soaked face off the ground. This happened at the meeting point of the common room and the cafeteria, so everyone in both rooms either saw or heard this fiasco and looked over. About 100 students. It's deadly silent for another couple seconds and then the laughter. It was like a jet engine. Every person there was laughing the hardest they've ever laughed in their whole lives. I saw the janitor doubled over laughing, bracing himself with a mop handle. A teacher was trying to walk over to help me, but stopped every couple feet to use her whole body to laugh at me. All of this happens not even 10 feet away from the table which my crush and her friends are sitting at. Everyone is having a great laugh, but my crush has the greatest laugh of all. She has fallen to the ground with one hand bracing herself on her knees and the other is clutched at her ribs as she is laughing so hard that no sound even comes out.
She can't breathe.
There is no recovery from this. I walked to the bathroom to clean myself up. The teacher could only manage to hand me my shoe along the way and continue laughing. In the bathroom, the laughter didn't die down at all for what seemed like eternity. When the bell rang, I was still in the bathroom and people were still laughing.
Yeah, he's got to go home. Check me out, Mom.
Oh my gosh.
That's hilarious.
It says, while I spent the whole day wallowing in easily the most embarrassing moment of my life, I thought, well, maybe I'm the funny guy now and she will like that.
Maybe not.
The next morning I saw my crush before class and she walks up to me and says, so homecoming is tomorrow. Eager to totally not talk about the show yesterday, I just excitedly said, yes, it is. She then delivers a crisp, so this guy that I actually like asked me to go to the dance, so I'm going to go with him. To which I replied, yeah, that makes sense. I totally didn't go to the bathroom and cry after that.
You went to the bathroom and cried. You know what? Here's the thing. I'm all for, and this is high school. High school is the area where I feel like as an adult, you kind of learn where your lane is. Right?
Yeah.
You kind of learn, it's like, okay, that might be a little bit of a reach, but in high school, you feel like everybody's the same. You know that everybody's not, and you're like, I don't even know if I'm a 4, but I know she's a 10 and vice versa, right? And
yeah.
so you just don't know that it doesn't make sense.
Well, and it's like, it's so hard too, because what is a 4 for someone and what is a 10 for someone else is going to be completely different, just like
I
adulthood,
just feel
right?
like in high school, it's pretty straightforward.
And not
And
really.
the social
because
boundaries are pretty high. Like, I
you
think
know
in
what is crazy is that, so when Jax went into 7th grade last year, I remember going to back to school night. And again, I was so far removed in school. Like, I did not care who was who. I knew who the popular kids were. Everyone did. Like, but it was like, I don't care. Like, I just want to get home. I hated it there. And, but I remember walking in for back to school night with Jax for 7th grade. And it was like, I walked in and it was like, you know, these are the cheerleaders and like the really pretty, preppy, like girls. And then these are the kids that are in band and they're just all together. And then these are the kids that like to wear all black, you know? And it literally was like a movie. I remember coming home and being like, Bedford, was that really how it was when we were in high school? Because again, I didn't pay any attention. I could not have possibly cared less. I went straight to class, went straight to class, went home, did not care. I had like 3 friends. I saw them occasionally in the hallway. I just didn't care. And so I don't remember it being that crazy.
That's how it was.
But I was like,
real segregated. And I was weird because like we had our group and our group wasn't the most popular group. But because I was the black kid, also I was cool with all the popular kids because you gotta have your black friend, right?
Yeah.
And I was cool with a lot of other random people too. Like I was.
But the thing is that, and I was telling Jax that actually after I saw that and we left, I was like, Jax, I just want you to know that you can be friends with whoever you want. Like, I just want you, like, you can be friends with because Jax does tech crew. So I'm like, you can be friends with the theater kids and you can have your friends that play basketball and you can have your friends. Like, I just want you to know that you can be like a jack of all trades in this arena. Like, you don't have to have these lines of like, well, I guess I have to be friends with these people. Like, you can be friends with anybody because it just felt like it literally felt like there were like boundaries drawn and it was so weird.
Yep. And junior high, I think it gets worse in high school. I think junior high is just where you're like trying to find out who you are. And then high school, it's everybody all together. And then there's power struggles because all the goth kids can't be the popular goth kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that.
Yeah.
This one makes me laugh. It's really so short, but I read it and now I feel like I need to read it to you because it is hilarious. The amount of times I have been misled into thinking someone was trying to high five me and then going in for it, I've wanted to die every time.
Ooh. You really got to like.
It's more commonly for me is like when you think someone's waving at you or whatever and you like wave and then you're like, oh, that wasn't
happened to
for
me
me.
At Target and it hurt my soul.
What do you do in that situation when you go to wait and then you're like, oh, that wasn't for me?
Oh, no, I'm like, oh, that's fine. But like what happened was a little bit different. Okay, so I'm in line at Target. I'm by myself. I'm in my gym clothes.
Okay.
It's a couple months ago. No kids.
Okay.
Right. So I've got my AirPods on.
Got it.
But they're in clarity mode. So I can hear what's going on, but nobody can hear me. Okay. But nobody thinks I can. And a guy behind me goes, "What's up, bro? You're super buff."
Oh, no. Gosh.
And I'm like, one of these again. So I turn around and pull my headphone out. And there's a buff guy behind me. And he's real buff. Like, and I'm like, and it was the first time. Because I get it. I used to be real fit. I've heard it a time or two, you know. And every now and again, someone will ask me if I play for like a college football team.
It's pretty frequent, actually.
Happens, you know, like once a month. But this time, it wasn't me. And I had pulled my headphone out and turned around to engage with this kind individual. And then there was me, the guy that was bigger than me, and then the guy that said he was super buff. And I felt like an idiot. And now I was like I almost did like a full 360, like whoop, let me put that headphone back in and find my safety. Cause it was so awkward. That was the one time where I've done that. And it was like, oh, I didn't know this guy was here and bigger than me.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but yeah, he was huge.
That really sucks.
He was huge.
Let's see here. Nope. Definitely not that.
What's your most embarrassing time? I'll tell mine. This is the only time I've ever felt stupid.
In the movie theater.
Yep, you've heard this.
Yes. And it's really not that embarrassing.
It was kind of embarrassing.
So I just don't know. Here's the thing. As your wife, I feel like there are quite a few things that you have done that should have been more embarrassing than this. But for whatever reason, this is the one that just sticks with him.
It sticks with me.
He should be really embarrassed about this. And it just doesn't track for me. But yeah, go for it.
All right, let me tell you real quick. Okay, so I'm 16. I work at a movie theater. Okay. And I'm handing out popcorn. I'm behind the concession stand, right? You want some peanut butter M&Ms? I got you. You want Coke with no ice? I'm your fella, right? So this lady comes up to me in line one day, and she goes, "Hey." I'm like, "What? Why are we whispering?" She's like, "Rumor has it Mary-Kate and Ashley are here." And I'm like, "Yo, we're in Provo, Utah. Ain't no way." She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Are you sure?" It's like, "Yeah, that's what people are saying." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And so I get her popcorn. I get her whatever the rest of her order was. And I'm like, "Yeah, good luck finding Mary-Kate." And she's like, "All right, cool." And
He's an a-hole.
She says bye. Now, she walks away. And as soon as she gets out of earshot, I'm like, "Fellas, you got to hear this. This lady thinks." And I got the whole group, like everybody. There's a whole line of concession stands. Right. This lady thinks Mary-Kate and Ashley are here, and I'm laughing. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Why would Mary-Kate and Ashley be here in Utah Valley at the movie theater catching a movie? Don't they live where they live at? I don't even know. I'm going in, roasting this lady. I'm laughing with the guy that behind her in line, like, "This stupid clown lady." And then all of a sudden, the girl next to me behind the concession stand goes, "Bedford." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Bedford." I'm like, "Ain't that weird?" It's crazy. Okay, I'll cool it down because, I'm supposed to be professional. She's like, "Bedford."
He's never professional.
She chops. I'm like, "Chop." And then she points. I'm like, "What?" And I look down the line. Lo and behold, there's Mary-Kate. She's just staring at me, roasting this lady for saying that she was here. And I felt so stupid. And she's just giggling. And I'm like, I feel like I need an explanation. Because why are you here? Why? There's no reason for you to be here. We don't do nothing in Utah County that would... But they came.
There she was, though.
There she was. And I to this day, that is the most famous person that I've ever felt stupid, like full on stupid in front of, because she was giggling. But she wasn't laughing because I was funny. She was laughing because I'm an idiot.
I mean, again, there's a lot of things you could have chosen, but how old were you? 16?
Everything else that I've done deliberately.
How old were you?
Oh, I was 16, 17.
Okay.
But for me, like,
sense.
When I do stuff, a lot of times they're like, "You should be embarrassed." I'm not embarrassed because I'm doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
All right. I wasn't purposely making fun of some lady in front of Mary-Kate and Ash. Like, that was not, that was an incident. Okay. A lot of other things you're like, "You should be embarrassed for that." It's like, why would I be embarrassed for that? I'm doing it on purpose. I don't care.
All right. I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
This actually took me a long time to think about because I don't feel like humiliated. Like, I don't feel like I've had that. Yeah,
you do. Every time you go out with me, you're like, "Why?"
No. No. I mean, after 10 years, I feel like it's gotten quite a bit better. But, okay. Aside from the swimsuit situation, I was in a singles ward after I had gotten divorced.
So hold on, you gotta
okay,
bring
so
it back. So if you're not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
So I was married, got divorced, and then in our church, there is specific ward houses or buildings that you can go to if you are over the age of 18 and under the age of 32, right?
Yep, so it's a specific congregation for people
and it
who
is
aren't married.
Single people, right? So a single adult ward. And that is where I was going, right? You're supposed to be able to go, find friends, maybe meet someone. At the same time, well, that will probably ruin the story. So I am in this, ward. And after one of our meetings, I was standing talking to someone. And this guy is like, "Hey, Chelsea, when you're done talking to him, come down here." And I'm like, "All right." So I go down there and, he's with this other guy. And I'm talking to them. And this guy's talking to me like he knows me, this other dude that he was with that I have never met before. No idea. But he's talking to me like he knows me. And he says something to me that insinuated that I should know something that I didn't know. And I was like, I'm so sorry. What was your name again? I don't know if I've met you before. And he starts laughing and he was like, we've been talking on Tinder for 2 months. And so if you don't know what Tinder is, I'm sure you do.
Everybody
but
knows
Tinder
what
is a
Tinder
dating app. That's actually how Bedford and I met. But I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Now, in her defense, she was talking to a lot of people. And guys, on the flip side, we're not. So
my phone literally said, Ben with a white dog, Ben from Georgia, Ben from, like, it was like outrageous.
Yeah, no, my phone literally said, Chelsea, the only one who wrote back.
Stop.
Like, the only Chelsea. There was not 2 Chelseas.
Yeah,
and that's a common name.
It was a little bit ridiculous, but I had just never been confronted for it, you know? You really did lose track. Like, sometimes I would have to scroll up farther in my conversation just to remember who the heck I was talking to. But for him to say, like, we've been talking for 2 months. 2 months.
That's a long time.
And I was like, I'm so sorry. And he was like, I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, you're not interested. And I was like,
honestly,
I can't even say anything about that.
No.
Like, I mean, I did tell him, I was like, to be fair, like, I'm so sorry. I have so many messages and like keeping everybody straight, especially because we haven't met before. I'm so sorry. Like, I felt really, really
he
bad.
ain't even going to believe you, because I remember the first time I even saw your Tinder, right? So we had met on Tinder. We like delete the app, but I pull it up because
we're getting engaged.
And I actually want our first conversation, which was cool for us to have.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I look at all the matches. I'm like, yo, this is what your life is like on this app?
I mean,
like, this is crazy, because I was the bee's knees amongst my fellas. You know, Jerem was the bee's knees. He had lots of inboxes, but I was like up there. I was like, yeah, let me get a close second.
Sometimes as a girl, you would get a message from a dude, and then your girlfriend would get a message from the same guy.
Well, of course.
Like, literally, and you'd be like, we're sitting in the same room together. You just sent this exact same message to my roommate.
I don't think you understand the mass effort.
But all I'm saying is that never happened to me. Like, first of all, I very rarely reached out to anybody. I would wake up to like 47 messages, which, I mean, come on though.
Good Lord.
Like, through the night,
first off, that's on you. Stop swiping right. All right, knock it off. If you're not, because
I had just gotten divorced. I was kind of out there for a good time, you know?
As a fella, I'm over here like, nope, yeah, nope. You're over here just like, you might as well just have the auto swipe right, because...
Well, for a while, I had my friends running my Tinder.
Yeah, no.
So...
I had my friend, Michaela. You know Michaela? She ran my Tinder for a while. Yeah. She lost her privileges. I was like, what are you doing? She's like, she's cute. No, she's not. We never use the word cute when talking about any other girls, because pugs are cute, babies are cute, like ugly babies are cute, especially.
Wow.
Cute is how you describe a girl that's not. So Michaela lost her privileges. To this day, I'm like, what were you thinking? And I love Michaela. She's great people.
Well, that was my most embarrassing moment.
Yeah, you should have been embarrassed. That was on you, though. You shouldn't be talking to 47 people. Because as a guy on the other side, you were probably the only person that had messaged him back.
But like, here's the thing too,
so
though, is that like, I was a single mom, so I would be talking to someone and I'd get like 2 messages in, and then they would stop talking to me, and I wasn't about to be like, all right, there's 30 dudes trying to talk to me right now. I'm gonna go one at a time and just see how many of them continue to message me.
Narrow it down to 10. Okay.
Why?
As a fella, you're like, okay, I've got one that I'm working with. We better add another one before next week, because she's gonna stop messaging you immediately.
There were so many options.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
I explored my options, and look, I got the best one. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm proud of myself for winning out of that group.
You should be.
But also now I'm mad for all the other fellas that got swiped right on for no reason. Like,
it's not that they weren't attractive. They were attractive.
I'll punish her later.
Okay. Well, on that note. Okay, well, this was fun. Maybe in the future, what we'll do is we'll do like a Tinder Nightmares episode.
Oh yeah, we're doing that next week.
That's a good one. Tinder Nightmares is
it makes me so happy.
Freaking funny. But like this was good. It was like a good break from like the deep conversation stuff, which we love. I love that stuff. But this was just like good conversational. It was funny. Drop your favorite or drop your most embarrassing moment in the comments.
Yeah.
And we'll chat with you next week.
Yep. And per the norm, please, if you love what you heard or you like it, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, tell us, hey, Bedford, you're looking tense, because I actually realized I'm looking real tense, and it's because I cold plunged. I'm freezing.
Or if you are commenting for me, like other people, you can say, she's annoying.
She's not annoying. She's great. But
or like, her eyes are only like 1 centimeter too far apart.
Yeah. User
so give me whatever feedback you think I need so that I can run to a plastic surgeon's office and get it fixed, because we'll take whatever you guys have to say.
Anyway.
Okay. We'll see you guys next week.
Yup. Peace.